G'day cocktail lovers. It's Christmas Day as I shoot this, and here's my Christmas present to myself. A whiskey. It started off as New Make Spirit or moonshine, but it's been aging in a barrel. That makes it whiskey. Does it make it a good whiskey? I don't know. There's actually a blend of two New Make spirits in here. One is a single malt New Make that I got from the people where I actually sourced the barrels. They're called White Possum. And the other one is from a distiller in New South Wales. They teamed up in the first year of COVID with a brewer they knew who had a whole bunch of beer that they couldn't sell because all the pubs were closed. So they distilled this into a moonshine and sold it. And that was nice on its own, but I thought I'm going to put those two together and age them. And I put this in about 4 months ago, and I've given it little tastes along the way, and I think that's as long as it needs. This barrel has been used in multiple other of my creations, so it's had different spirits, different cocktails in there, so it should be a fairly unique flavour that it's added for my Christmas whiskey. And for a hoot, I'm going to compare it to some professional whiskies, which I assume is going to make this taste pretty rough by comparison. But this is one I picked up. This is from Queensland, Australia. It's a really mild whiskey. It's really nice, easy drinking whiskey. This is probably the most special one I have, a limited edition from the Starward Distillery to celebrate their 50th anniversary. And for something completely different, this is a lesser known American bourbon from California. So I'm going to just do side-by-side taste comparison and see where I rank my own barrel-aged whiskey. It's picked up quite a bit of colour from the barrel, which is not surprising. This was completely clear when it went in. Ooh, okay, this is very proofy. That's the other thing. The New Make spirits were pretty high proof. There's a fair chance I will end up adding a little water to this to bring the proof down a little. It was about like 60% alcohol, but what else is there? It's like a lot of things you'd expect from a whiskey, like caramel, even a little bit of cinnamon. I feel like I'm picking up aromas from the cocktails that were in the barrel before. Give it a quick taste. Very warm going down. Maybe I won't dilute it. I'm going to put a little water in it, as the professionals do. Little water, see if that opens up flavours. But I'm going to compare it to the others. Now, the Watkins whiskey, which is 43% alcohol, actually very similar on the nose, maybe a bit more honey. This is a really pleasant whiskey. Doesn't have the same heat going down. It stays really sweet. There's a type of syrup in Australia that's very popular alternative to honey called golden syrup. It really reminds me of golden syrup. Now, the West of Kentucky bourbon, 47.5% ABV. Like most bourbons, is a bit sharper on the nose than most Australian whiskies are. It's a much lighter taste than the other two. It's a nice bourbon. Finally, the Starward limited edition Vitalis. This is the most complex of the whiskies. I think hardcore whiskey lovers would really love this. It runs through a whole spectrum. There's even like light coffee notes in this one. Really nice whiskey. Given each of them a splash of chilled distilled water. This is my homemade whiskey. Yeah, I think that goes well with a bit of water. I'm very surprised by how sweet that one is. The New Make spirits, they weren't subtle, and just the 4 months in the barrel and absorbing the flavours of the other things that have been in there has really turned it down and given it much richer flavours. The Watkins whiskey. This is probably one of the easiest drinking whiskies I've ever had. It's really nice. I don't mean it's bland. I don't mean there's nothing to it. It has really nice flavours, but it goes down more easily than pretty much any whiskey I've ever tasted. The bourbon really does benefit from a little bit of water, opens it up a bit. Still that lovely, it's a much lighter sweetness than the Australian whiskies, but again, very pleasant to drink. And finally, the Starward with a little bit of water. Oh, the sweetness just got richer with that little bit of water. It's funny, you'd think if you dilute it, it might taste less sweet, but it's made the sweetness taste even richer on this. These are all really nice to drink. I think my homemade 4-month aged whiskey is holding itself really well, actually. I really quite like it. I don't think I will proof it down. It is of an indeterminate proof. It's somewhere between 55 and 60% alcohol, I think. So somewhere, I don't know, 110 to 120 proof. Nothing wrong with having a higher proof whiskey rolling about. And yet again, the barrel has come through for me, giving me a good Christmas present. Behold, my Christmas whiskey. I've heard people say if you just chuck a bunch of different whiskies together, you lose the best qualities of each of them. I don't think my palate's as subtle as a lot of serious whiskey people. I just chuck them all together. I don't like that as much as I like the individual ones. Not bad though. Anyway, I have lots of whiskies to play with. I hope wherever you are, you're keeping well, and I hope to see you again soon. Until then, I will say cheers.